Hi, everyone. It's Aaron Habicht here with Optimum Realty right here in Regina, Saskatchewan. Doing a video testimonial for you today. My special guest is one of my buyer clients from a little while ago, Cody. Glad to have you on here, and I appreciate you doing this for me.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate you asking me, and I've wanted to talk about you and your professional way of doing things for a long time.
Well, thanks. I appreciate that. So, I guess going back, what made your decision that you wanted to buy a home? I believe you were renting at the time, if I recall. I could be wrong, but really, what led to the decision on buying a house?
Well, I knew that I wanted to stay in Regina. I like this city. I've got a good job here in the Queen City, and I've always wanted to come back home. And this is pretty close to home, so that's why I decided. There's a lot of pluses and minuses with renting, but at the end of the day, the price was right. The market conditions were absolutely right. So I thought this is the time to buy a home. It's in the place that I love. And that's really ultimately what led me to purchase the home that I have from you.
Perfect, perfect. Well, if I recall, you were a first-time buyer. I believe you were referred to me from one of your coworkers who I had worked with.
That's correct.
As a first-time buyer, how much did you know about the process of buying a place?
Well, I didn't really know a whole lot about it actually. I had looked obviously on, some of the classifieds and the listings and that type of stuff, but at the end of the day, I didn't know where to begin when it came to buying a home. I didn't know about the pre-approval type of stuff either. And so when you walked me through that, that was a big help. It started off with a phone call from you, and then we went from there, got pre-approved. I told you the areas of the city that I wanted to kind of live in and what would be affordable. And you set me up with that database, which was really cool. And it had all the homes within my price range. And we could go from there. One of the big things that I would certainly recommend, Aaron, for anybody who's looking at buying a home for the first time is just to have patience. Like don't jump at the first thing you see. It's very tempting to want to do that, but don't do that right away. So when you walk me through that process from the start of getting pre-approved to getting that to database set up to actually putting an offer in too, because I've never done anything like that before. And it was a real exhilarating experience. And I mean, as you know, it took a little while, not that there was anything wrong with a lot of the homes that we saw, Aaron, but just the fact that my job and your job were pretty busy. So trying to find a place took a little bit longer because of our work schedules and whatnot. But overall, it was just an eye-opening, positive, and I would say fun experience.
Well, good. I appreciate that. I mean, I try to keep things, as fun, with some professionalism added in, obviously. And you hit the nail on the head. I mean, most first-time buyers, a lot of buyers in general, they're not aware that mortgage pre-approval is really your first step. We need to know what kind of dollars we're working with. Unfortunately, a lot of people, they're hoping they can buy a $400,000 house, and in fact, maybe they can only get into something that's maybe 300,000, for example.
Yeah.
So we want to help narrow that down, do the best job we can. The auto search I set up for you is something I do for all the buyers I'm working with. As you said, it helps you know by sending listings that match what you're looking for directly to you, so it kind of takes the onus off you in terms of having to go and keep searching, especially with a busy job, as you had stated. Writing the initial offer, if I recall, we wrote that one offer on one property, which we ended up not getting. In a way, that's a blessing, because again, as a first time buyer, it's a little nerve wracking, and now you've been through the process, so you know what to expect when it comes to writing an offer. Not jumping the gun on the first home. I remember you and I had talked about this numerous times. The first home we saw, you actually had a lot of interest in.
Yeah, it was
And
actually quite nice.
yeah, so I mean, but again, a first time buyer, very nervous. We didn't move on it. And then, I mean, it took us a few months after that house. to actually find something else, because obviously that home went off the market shortly after we viewed it. So there's a lot of variables to looking at homes and making the buyer feel comfortable on my end. So again, I appreciate your trust, and I appreciated working with you. Obviously, it was a lot of fun. Really, any other recommendations to home buyers? Anything else you'd like to discuss?
I think that the biggest thing, as I stated earlier, is just to have the patience. Really, that is the best thing, and to you know, and I think this is actually a good lesson for other real estate agents, and you're the prime example of this. Is just have honesty, and that's what I liked about you. You were just downright honest,
Well, thanks.
about anything and everything when it came to buying a house, and even looking at a house, looking at foundations, looking at flooring, looking at anything. I appreciated that the most.
Well, and I really appreciate that. That's probably the number one key to my business. As you know, I've been doing this, oh gosh, almost 17 years now. So I've always built my business, my reputation on that, and I will always be honest with the buyer. Ultimately, the buyer has to like the home. I have run into cases where the buyer likes the home. I'm not quite sure about it, but they end up buying the home anyway because they love it. And you know what? They're still happy there because it was the home they wanted. But for the most part, I'm going to always, if there's something I really don't like or feel comfortable with, I'm going to try to steer my buyer away from that property if I feel there's some major issues. So honesty is key. There has to be some open communication there and honesty. Bottom line is, again, it was a joy working with you. I always appreciate your trust and your continued support. Thanks for doing this, Cody. And it's Monday right now, family day. So I'm just gonna wish you a real happy day and enjoy the rest of the day and relax a little bit before the work shift takes over again.
Well, thank you very much. And just one thing to add
Yeah.
on to what we were just talking about there, the other thing that I would recommend people is look at your community as well. Like sometimes you find a really nice house, but maybe it's not necessarily in the community that you want to be in. And at the end of the day, being close to a grocery store or being close to a restaurant or a doctor, that can be very important. Sometimes you just want to walk to those places. And so I was lucky in the neighborhood that I'm in here in Regina. I am close to everything, and I absolutely love the neighborhood. So that's the other thing I recommend is pay attention to your neighborhood and who's around you.
The old adage, location, location, location.
That's correct.
there there
Thank
is
you, Aaron. I
there is a reason
appreciate
for it.
this.
Yeah, no, thank you again, Cody. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll talk soon. We always touch base with each other anyway. So
Absolutely.
once again, I appreciate this. Have a real good day.
You too.
All right, thanks.